the problem is that there is an irreducible amount of complexity in the world. And if you oversimplify, you pay a price somewhere else, somewhere invisible, but somewhere else. And so then you might ask yourself, well, what guarantees do we have against that temptation to oversimplify? You know, because we could say, well, every time there's a new illness, we'll just lock everybody up. Well, everyone who has any sense knows that that's a bad idea. The reason it's a bad idea is because locking everybody up violates our fundamental liberties, our natural rights, let's say. And then you might say, well, why the hell do we have those natural rights to begin with? And the answer is something like societies have evolved and computed that there's a certain set of inviolable freedoms that actually constitute the best solution to irreducible complexity. So the idea is something like this: all things considered, and that would be even all the things you couldn't even consider because you don't have enough time. All things considered, it's better to let people say what they need to say, right? In terms of total balance of risks, there's no better solution. And maybe that's because of information dissemination. All things considered, it's better to leave people to assemble freely, right? And to own their own property and husband it according to their dictates. And the reason for that is because even in emergencies, those are the best policies. And that's why those rights are supposed to be inviolable. And what we did instead, especially because we copied totalitarian China so rapidly, which is extraordinarily interesting to me from a psychological perspective, is we set all those intrinsic rights aside and we said, no, we're going to collapse this multidimensional problem to one dimension. We're going to call virtue one pathway forward, which is don't transmit the disease. And everything else is going to go by the wayside. Well, we're still paying the price for violating those fundamental rights. We've destroyed public trust in the public health enterprise. We've compromised the supply chain terribly. God only knows how many people we've killed. There's a tremendous decrement in vaccine uptake now around the world because people are very skeptical about vaccines, and the probability that we'll kill more kids by not vaccinating them with vaccines that actually work than we saved with the COVID vaccine, which was unnecessary for children, is extremely high. We're paying the invisible price for violating all of those rights. Now,